This planet is controlled by humans, and we are gonna kick them out because I am the swarm. This is our hive, this is where we begin, and we've just evolved in order to get spitters. And I think we're gonna need these guys. Because if you look at the planet that we started on, we are completely surrounded by humanity and their dastardly inventions like automatic turrets, flamethrowers, and a bunch of bald people with beards and togas. So we're gonna call all of our little spitters back here. Oh man, that sure is a lot of spitters. And we're gonna send them to attack. Now, they've got a little bit of range fire. Remember, in the last time that we played this, we only had melee. Oh my god, they're all dead. But now that we've evolved our horde, excuse me guys, these guys are not very good at listening. They're just like, you know what I should do is just bonsai charge the enemy gun positions instead of building up critical mass. And I would like to know why you're not following our pheromonic control. I mean, are we not a gestalt consciousness? Aren't we all working together here? I cannot control these critters. We're doomed. Now the issue is, where do we want to go second? And I think it's to the right, because I want to use this entire area as a means of expanding our production. Because once you unlock a wall, you can't close it down. We don't have that type of intelligence. And enemy soldiers and enemy troops are just gonna sort of wander in. But ultimately, our goal today is to conquer not only this base, but other bases, and as a result, gain control of the entire planet. All for the Horde. Because I think we're either the Zergs or the Tyranids or Xenomorphs or something like that. So we've got a pretty nasty little bit of a combat operation going up here. And I think the issue is that our production isn't good enough. So I think what we're gonna do is get another spitter cave. And maybe at some point we'll pair spitters with swarmers, which are sort of like your classic Zerglings. Once we get these two guns out of the picture. There we go, one turret's down. We've only got one left. It does have full 30 out of 30 health, and the bald guy's gone. But look at that, we are victorious. Now from here, it should be easy for us to start building up what I would call critical mass. The amount of little critters we're gonna need in order to start defeating, well, the rest of them. Strangely enough, these guys are not listening. In the past, they did. Wait a minute. Now they kind of are. Are we evolving? I mean, that's sort of our job, right? So let's get a few swarmers up here. And we'll get our little builders here. Wow, we got to critical mass pretty quickly. Now, they've got a couple flame turrets in here, as well as the auto turrets, and my goodness, is that a ton of troops. They also have a pretty nice Thermopylae-style choke point here that we're gonna have to go through. Alternatively, we could use that to draw them in towards us and weaken some of their forces. You see, the enemy troops pop out from these houses. They are the little toga wearers, and then they'll go to a command center, get their little helmet and armor and gun, and turn into a soldier. And then they'll come and attack us. It's sort of a real-time strategy game where it's more of like slight nudges and influencing both your troops in order to get them to do what you want. So, what's the situation? Combat, chaos. But I think we're doing it the right way. By going down here, it's pretty sparsely defended versus like this entire walled section right here. On top of that, we're finally getting our melee troops, which are gonna be very, very hardy little critters. And combined, we should be able to overwhelm the enemy troops with the melee going in the front and ranged firing over their backs. So here we go. Charge the enemy. Wow, they're doing a really good job at killing us, but we're doing a better one. I mean, we've sort of like evolved to a point to do this, right? So let's go ahead and build back up our forces, which are pretty much instantaneous. We'll start some more nutrient pustules with the hive putting out builders. And you know what? Might as well just go into the base, right? Now, we didn't do that necessarily in the most efficient fashion, but look at this conga line of absolute death and destruction. Now, we're getting towards the enemy turrets, and there's some walls and enough troops to kind of slow us down. And we've dropped to about 50% capacity just from funneling through this choke point of destruction. So I think what we should do is try again. I can't control group like you can in other RTS games, which would be really nice. But purple's at least going in the front. Man, these things are able to like shoot explosive rounds that do quite a bit of damage. Plus there's flame turrets with 60 hit points. That's kind of insanity. But As you can see here, we have overcome the adversity on the battlefield, and this place is ours. The problem is, I think I just opened up Pandora's box here, and floods of enemy troops are coming in. We've destroyed all of the houses, and now it's just gonna be like an endless skirmish until one of these two armies wins. But as you can see here, the casualties seem to be working numerically in our favor. I feel really bad for all of these like toga-wearing philosopher types. Like, maybe if I go and stare or slap a bug, we'll be victorious. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all ages, watch out. So these crystals, if you spawn bases near them, they'll actually boost the production rate out of your buildings. You see these little like red stuff? That's because they're bordering a spawning crystal, whereas these ones spawn at like a normal rate. So now I think what we want to do, since we want troops to like accurately funnel in here, is we might build up a new production center. But then again, we might not need to. First, let's get a hive. That's a little bit tricky because you have to get the builders, and man, we got a lot of them, all the way over here. But actually, that's a lot of builders we have built up. Attack! If we could kill this turret, oh my gosh, we're gonna be able to do that. This is a pretty formidable offensive, just with spitters. All right, so, oh my goodness, that was a mistake. We have so many builders right now. I'm sure most of my capacity is actually built up from that, but I have just the idea for this. We'll just have them all build resource pustules. So, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's just send everything in and see what happens. From all sides. This is a pincer maneuver. Now, these guys probably could have been better timed, but they weren't, because ultimately, their lives are inconsequential. And I know that might be terrible to say, like if we were all sentient creatures, but they're just an extension of the hive, the swarm. They don't really matter on an individual level, and that feels terrible to say, but I think I'm okay with it if you are. Attack that turret! Man, okay, we're slowly but surely getting through these turrets as like these just like, look at these, just concentrated lines. And since they're coming in from both sides, even with these things having explosive rounds in a fantastic fire rate, they just can't keep up. This is, I think, my internal organs. Or maybe it's my brain. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. We could increase the spitter damage by 1. We could increase our Buggos' health. We could get more resources. There's all sorts of things to do, but ultimately, I'm gonna increase spitter damage. So let's survey the situation. Whoa, we've got new troops, and they're armed with flamethrowers. So we've dealt with the flame turrets, and ultimately we overcome, and this kind of looks like, what does this look like? Almost like a hat. Now the enemy troops are starting to venture close to us, so we will want to build up some troops. And the crystals that will increase production are up here, so it might make sense that we attack this position first. Although it's decently defended, this one seems more defended. Oh, a health crystal. Doubles the health of spawn units from a spawner. So these guys are going to be elite troops. So the battle is just now starting, but I don't feel ready. But here you can see the builders basically giving their biomass. I think that's what's happening, is they're giving their biomass to create these structures. And our skirmishes with the humans, well, I mean, it's starting to get really, really pitched. Let's send an attack. What's the worst that could happen? We all die? I guess we'll just spawn in more troops. Oh man, look at how good our spitters are. We are overwhelming the enemy forces. This is glorious. Huh, that worked significantly better than I thought it would. Now we'll call all the troops back to deal with this massive invasion of Marines. Wow, actually they're all coming towards us. I don't know if they get like radio signals or something, but they're coming to party. And this is getting dangerous. Oh, this is getting real dangerous. All right, we did like a little bit of a feint where we pulled back for a moment. That might be too many troops. Do they have critical mass? We may have just been able to hold on there, but that got really, really dangerous for a moment. I bought in 2 more spitter caves in order to try to increase our production here. We have overcome. So the issue is, who next? Well, I guess whoever's in front of us, and it's these guys. Let's take out the flamethrower troop. Let's see just how good he is. He's got a lot of fire, but we got a lot more Xenos here. Buggos, Xenos, we're going to be using that term interchangeably. They have a ton of troops, but I think upgrading our ranged attacks to do more damage is all that we really needed to do. There's one tower left. Oh man, that's a big marine counterattack. Charge! But a mixture of swarmers and spitters seems to be doing the trick. Now all we have to do is take out their command centers, which are basically their barracks. This game, I love this game. It's so much fun. I kind of wish it had more of like a StarCraft or StarCraft 2 like style art. Obviously, it's heavily inspired by those games. But like, you know, the Command and Conquers, the StarCraft like units. I wonder the size of this team, but this game is just such a gem. Gosh, that's a lot of troops. All right, what we need to do is make some significant progress. We need to destroy one of their production centers, the houses that supply it with manpower, and then go for the next one and just continue to do that. Now, while that's happening, remember, we are a hive mind. We got other stuff to do, like make more alien money, maybe? All right, how are we doing? Are we winning? Let's take out this building. That'll drastically slow down their troop production. Now, the last one is in this bottom corner, but there's just a steady flow of Marines just pumping out here. I want to keep back from the flame tower so it can't be used in their aid, and then after the Marines are largely dealt with, we charge it. But man, that's just a steady flow. Charge! All right, there's one more flame tower under this little like happy smiley face pheromone thing, like, hey Buggos, charge this and give your lives. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. All right, charge down here. Destroy this last barracks. Then our attention won't be dragged between 2 points of enemy supply. All right, here we go. We've taken command of this area, and I'm sending my builders up here, because what I'm gonna do is make a whole lot more troops. Then we'll be able to like just pincer. Actually, I think at this point, once these are going, we probably can just do this and just like let them go. That's gonna produce a lot of spitters really, really quickly, so long as we have capacity. So how are we doing? Honestly, not very good, if you're counting casualties. There we go. This is such a narrow choke point protected by so many turrets. All right, let's focus on the flame turret if possible, because once that's down, it will be easier to get through this choke point. I can't tell if it's dead yet. There it is, it's dead, okay. But man, those red health crystals are brand new to this planet. We've never encountered them before this battle. Sheesh. I think we're gonna lose like 10,000 troops this time. All right, let's try something a little different. Mass the numbers. Build up critical mass. Now that the lines of supply are trickling, that means we're at capacity. And attack. Huzzah! Come on, just get through that choke point. Ooh, we've already suffered what? 20-30% casualties right there? Jeez. Well, what we need is aerial units or some kind of like long-range artillery buggo. But we haven't evolved that yet. And I'm kind of questioning why. We would be able to crush human opposition that way. All right, what I'm attempting to do is kiting the enemy. I don't think it's working too well, because look at how many Marines are in there, and they're just producing infinitely. But if I could somehow take down one of those guns and then just do that 2 more times. Oh my gosh, look at all those Marines. All right, maybe the first thing we need to do is take out that wall section. All right, we're gonna stop these spawners. They're just too far back. Once more into the breach. We're getting a little farther, maybe. Maybe not. I guess I'm gonna try to increase unit capacity. Increased frontline production. Will it be enough? Probably not. What scares me is we haven't even done any damage to those 3 turrets. They always have enough Marines to stop us. Ooh, that's a nice critical mass of purple ones. It's not critical mass, it was just a mass. But we almost have 800 of these things, and still it's not enough. This is the Helm's Deep of human outposts. Now we do have over 800. The problem is all my troops funnel up and just make themselves perfect targets for the 3 turrets. But look, there's progress. We did destroy a wall section. Wait a minute, this looks good. One of the turrets is down. The wall's down. The other 2 turrets are down. We've finally broken through Helm's Deep. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be absolutely embarrassed to see the amount of casualties. It's 15,000. Spore artillery? We need 3 more to get the artillery, and we've got 3 bases. This is a painful experience. We're immediately surrounded, so that's not good. So we'll use all the initial builders to get 250 worth of spitters. Then from there, we'll make 2 swarmer dens, and then from there, we'll start working on the increasing supply. Ooh, we get a health crystal. That'll be glorious. We should be able to overwhelm this turret, and then this one too. I'm getting that artillery, you know that. You know this. So I think the play is to defeat this little teardrop tendril of a base. And I think what we want is, well, I guess we're gonna have to clear these 2 guns out and then put swarmers around this. I think it would be better to have swarmer health, maybe? Look at this little marine getting cheeky. Uh-oh. Yep, they're starting to come through now. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of marines from all sides. We're getting attacked from 3 different areas. This is kind of scary, actually. Really? There we go, good. Don't kill that base, man. That's my base. This is chaotic. So the question is, how are we gonna get progress? We just defeated those 3 marines, but reinforcements of 4 just came up, right as we were trying to make a move on the guns. All right, we've taken out those beginner guns, and I'm trying to create another spitter right up here to effectively be a tower, because we're holding off the enemies like right around there. Then all of these spawners can be used to destroy this area. That's my hope. All right, we're going in on an attack. They do have 2 flamer turrets and 1 command center producing marines. Oh yeah, we're getting in there. 1 flame turret's down. The other one hasn't suffered any damage, at least not yet, and it's gone. Oh man, we're fast. So that base has been overwhelmed. Now the next one should probably be this one. We'll get critical mass. Because this place doesn't have any crystals. This one did, so targeting it first made sense. And then we'll go for this one, I think. They don't have any flamethrower academies. This one is the academy. Where? Oh, they do have a flamethrower academy. No wonder all the flamethrowers are there. Uh-oh. Hold on. They're in the base. They are in the base. Okay, that's dangerous. That is dangerous. We need to do something about that. All right, maybe this base does have to fall first. But I think we've bought ourselves enough time. We're controlling the 2 choke points that they can get to us with. And you know what? This one doesn't have any towers, but they have 3 unit producers. So once we make it past these 2 guns, and now that we got this teardrop, we're converting it into unit supply. Because this is gonna be brutal. They have so many flamethrower troops. All right, this should work. We're in the base, actually. The towers are defeated. There's only 3 flamethrowers left, and 2 of them just blew up. This base was easier than the last one. I think it was, I don't know if it was the decisions we made, the upgrades we had, or the layout of the map, or likely a combination of all of those things. And we don't even have the siege artillery yet. Okay, look at these troops. They only have the Toga dudes. They don't have a means of producing marines, I guess? They should, though. Oh, you know what happened? Is they hit supply cap. All their flamethrowers and marines are dead, and as we kill the Toga dudes, it'll start producing marines. I think that's the case. So what we need to do is actually, like, wait and mass as many troops as we can, and then attack like this. All right, so this is the attack. Now, they do have 6 defensive turrets, including 2 flame towers. That's gonna be nasty. But now what we should see, as we're starting to destroy the Toga troops, is we might see some more marines and flamethrowers popping out. That's my theory, anyway. Oh, wow. Dude, that was just a massive push. Can we just charge in? Do I have to kill the towers? I guess we should probably target the towers. All right, we'll hold off for a moment. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the enemy's doing. They're not producing their valuable infantry units. But I think our casualty numbers are gonna be a lot lower than 15,000. All right, all we gotta do is get rid of that turret. Yes, it's gone. The flame turret is almost gone. It's still holding on. 26 health. And another attack. Yes, flame turret's down, the other turret's down. It's over. We are in the enemy base, destroying the houses, the barracks. Anything and everything will fall. Oh man, this is a wild game. This is a really tight spawning area. Oh, and you know what? Once we crack these gates, Marines and flamethrower troops are gonna absolutely bum rush us. So I think what we need to do is be a little bit slower. And once we do take those turrets, we have to immediately get builders to produce troop producing buildings right here. And then it's just gonna be a massive war of attrition, which normally favors us. All right, some wall sections are down. The first turret falls. I guess if we could leave some, I wish we could produce our own walls, honestly. All right, this is gonna be nasty. This is such good. This is just gonna be a weird one. It's just constant gunfire at all times. We have to pick an area and go for it. So we'll send an attack up this way. And we're getting in there. I mean, we're through the wall anyway. Oh my gosh. I'm very curious how many troops we're gonna lose this time. But for whatever reason, it must be my Buggos increased health upgrades we've done. Or rather, you know, evolution stuff. Because we've crushed the enemy. Let's get rid of these little houses down. And then the flame turret. Oh my gosh, we are an absolute unstoppable swarm right now. The health upgrades may have been the best thing we've done. And that was only because that's what we needed to do in order to unlock the artillery Buggos. All right, here's another big attack. So we went from 15,000 to 7,000. It would be cool to get to have that again to 3,000. I just don't think it's gonna happen given the nature of this map, but it's definitely possible. What if we attack from the north? We get all of our Buggos to come here and then go shawam. Well, I guess that's another wall section. We're doing damage to that wall. The wall is down, the turret's down. That flame building is about to be down. Okay, we're doing it. I think this one might be even record time for us. Oh, look at this, concavity. Attacking from a big old front. That favors us by splitting the enemy troops. So we took out 2 of the turrets and most of the walls. We'll get to critical mass and charge in again. This may be the fastest I've ever done a mission. Even in the first video on the first planet. This is definitely how you evolve your Buggos. We are gonna get increased swarm capacity plus 50. So what's the situation? We need to act fast and get troops. I want strong swarmers and a lot of spitters. And then from there, we should be able to hold off. Okay, good. Now, where do we want to attack first? Honestly, I think it's down this right flank, maybe? Wow, this is gonna be brutal no matter which way we go. Yeah, the enemy can't attack me right now. So I have all the time in the world to do whatever I want. And I'm gonna take that time. I think we'll take out this little turreted area. Why? I don't know. Reasons. All right, we're sending in the attack. The walls are down, the turrets are down, and the troops are down. Pull back, pull back, pull back. We do not want to destroy that wall, not yet. This guy's like, hey, I'm gonna do it. Oh my gosh. No one's in range to shoot him. He's gonna break the wall? Stop it! Can I delete you? I can! I didn't know I could do that. That's awesome. Buddy, I can't have you break that wall or else the troops are gonna start pouring in. But that means that base is weak from the rear. All right, we're gonna be through that wall in no time, taking out the towers. Now the enemy troops, look at this. This is gonna be nasty. Okay, we're gonna have to pull back because the enemy, oh, we actually broke a wall section there. Okay, interesting. Now please start producing troops quickly because you know the Marines are coming, man. But we didn't get their unit producing centers. All right, this front wall of towers, all destroyed. Excellent. All right, we got ourselves a little bit of a situation. Namely that the enemies are not happy we're here. We are a swarm of angry Buggo locusts, and we will not be denied conquest. We've got success. Yes. So we've sort of got a pincer maneuver going on right now. And it may not be working too well. Mainly because there's a massive Marine contingent. Now, what we could do is split them up. Hopefully they'll split their forces. And we're gonna heavily push down this right flank and destroy these towers. All right, I think what we need is maybe another Hive. Ooh, and look at this. Does that mean he gets affected by all 3 of them? We'll have fast and double health? That would be really, really cool if that was the case. So we got a lot of builders coming in here. There's some really juicy crystals. So we'll create another Hive, which will give us more builders to then fill this area in. Wow, this is really, really nasty choke point. But I got an idea. Slowly breaking down the walls. My unit capacity is under 500. It's very much the liability and sort of the limiting reactant rather, of why we're not destroying these guys. All right, I'm hoping that this push is gonna work. None of the purple ones were able to get to the walls. Well, that's hope as a strategy. We stalled out and failed. Capacity's up to almost 700 now. Oh, and we made a pretty good push there. That might be it. That is it. ladies and gentlemen, the final push is on. I was basically shutting down the supply of these ones and working on a new frontline production when we just cracked the enemy. And let's just say it's a bad time to be a human. I mean, oh my god, they're gone. Which means we have just taken over this entire planet. And notably, we have a forced mutation. They have greater love for the goo. Okay, well, we don't have any goo. So I think what we want is golden swarmer eggs. We'll go to this, and then finally, we can get the spore artillery and even a spore turret. So let's see these new advances on this new planet. Oh my gosh, that is nasty. Okay, I want spore artillery, and I want them producing fast. I mean, how are you gonna overcome, like, spore, and then, you know, we'll do a swarmer den with armor. Buddy, you do not want to come down here. Oh, what's it doing? Whoa, what's this guy? Commandos? All right, I think I need a spore turret. Okay, the commandos are scary. He has 100 health. So for some reason, I thought the spore artillery was gonna be a buggo. Cannot, okay. Are you able to shoot the turrets? Because that'd be really ideal if you could. Oh, dude, look at this. We got little golden buggos. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, this is... Okay, we haven't even taken a look at this beginning part of the planet, but artillery is pretty powerful. It's got long range, but I don't think it's doing enough. We definitely still want spitters as probably the mainstay of our army, because these defensive turrets probably aren't doing enough. But the artillery most definitely is. I think the spore artillery must need line of sight. Oh my gosh, what a nasty defense they have. Even with commandos, we were able to take out all of the flame turrets on the right side. This is what happens when you don't read the instructions and find out that artillery is in fact not a buggo, but is instead a static defense. Yeah, I think what we need to do is put an artillery piece right here. We'll see how this turns out. We're basically just sending a mass of troops to try to cover our production of the artillery pieces. And they're all dead. Oh my gosh, this is bad. This is scary. I think I need another hive. And then that should help me build the defensive pieces. There we go. Because really, it's just a production issue and sometimes a supply issue, as opposed to like a resource issue, if that makes any sense at all. But the artillery pieces are starting to stack up, and we're starting to break out. We can focus on the right side, get rid of that turret somehow. We were able to destroy it, and then it's just gonna be a matter of once we break this, all absolute hell is gonna break loose. It's gonna be pretty terrifying. So what we need to do is not let that happen until we have our defenses set up. Oh wow, look at the range of this artillery. We're whittling down those. I'm gonna delete them for now, because I don't want them firing until our unit production is up. All right, here we go. This is starting to look good. Now I think what we're gonna do is just do mad amount of artillery. I like it a lot. So we don't have a ton of capacity though. All right, once more into the breach. There's the artillery going. Oh my gosh. Ultimately, the little buggos, their sole job is to delay troops so the artillery can destroy them. And that's working. So at this point, I think we can bum rush them. We're even sending in the builders. You see those little like brown ones versus the pink and the purple? And every now and then you'll see a gold one, which is the super buggo. Super swarmer buggo. Destroy that building. Yes. Victory is ours. Man, this was a very, very challenging mission, but they can't stop us. We're the Buggos. If you guys want to see more, we'll pull the trigger on that like button and let me know, because we've got another planet to conquer.